Northern France, April 1918. The First World War had been raging for nearly 4 years. From the English Channel to Switzerland, fortified trenches snaked across Belgium and northern France. The battlefields were devastated with mud-drenched wastelands. In March 1918, the Germans launched what would be their final offensive in an attempt to split the Allied armies and take the vital French city of Remembrance, which would put them just hours from Paris. The poppy.
Across northern France, poppies bloom in the fields where once, many years ago, millions of men fought and died. Tall crosses dot the landscape. They mark the cemeteries where the fallen soldiers lie. Many of them are Australian. Far from home, in a village called Villers Bretonneux, Australian and French flags fly side by side. The people of Villers Bretonneux have raised their own memorial. It is not a statue of a soldier, but of a grieving woman. In France, women and children, old men and babies, died in the war. The entire village was destroyed, like so many others.
Australian soldiers died recapturing the village from the Germans. They stopped the enemy breaking through, pushed them back. They died in the hundreds in the fields and ruins, but they held the line. After the war, the village was rebuilt. Australians from Melbourne and around Victoria adopted Villers Bretonneux. Australian school children helped raise money to rebuild the school. Australian animals and plants carved by 2 Victorians in Australian wood decorate the school hall. A museum tells stories of the Australians who fought and of those who died. The French children who play in the schoolyard know the stories. The people of Villers Bretonneux have not forgotten. French and Australians side by side. Above the fields around the village, clouds chase their shadows up a broad, low hill. Stone stairs lead towards a tall cross. A great tower rises beyond it. Long walls reach out on either side of the tower. The walls are covered in carved names, soldiers whose bodies were never found and identified, the missing, the disappeared. Unknown soldiers, but they have not been forgotten. Over 10,000 of them. They are all Australian. On the bright green lawn sloping away from the tower, lines of the headstones mark the graves of more soldiers, hundreds of Australians, Britons, Canadians, 4 South Africans, 2 from New Zealand. Some of the headstones have no name or even a country.